Okay, so in this video I am doing what is essentially like a small tiny drawing, and this is going to be partial time lapse. Most of it's a time lapse, but here's the character add-on in the Realm Ethereal: The Dream Awakens issue 4, page 22, and as you can see here, there's the reference up above that I'm using. Again, it's been a while since I've drawn this character, so I have to pull up my own reference to look at it. But essentially, the thing about this drawing is I'm trying to, I mentioned before, trying to loosen up a little more, and so I think really working with traditional pencil on paper for me works best. It feels more raw. I'm also, like, I didn't use reference for this particular pose for this character that I'm doing, and so I think that's also keeping me on my toes, and it's making me work a little harder, think a bit more. Anytime you have to erase, it sucks, but I mean, you know, I'm working after the perfect pose, the perfect layout, and to fit the composition. So there's that component, and it's really quite refreshing to be able to sketch, having worked digitally mostly for like for the good part of the creation of this comic book series. It's good to go back to pencil, I think, and having done both and having been away for a while from pencil and going back to it, it's just been kind of like rediscovering it and becoming more reacquainted with the advantages of working traditional. It's like you don't have time to fuss around and move stuff like you could digitally, which again has its advantages, but I think given my experience in doing this, I've learned. One other thing I've learned too is if I'm putting this penny here in the shot, so you can see how small this image is. Obviously, if you're in Photoshop or you're in Procreate, you just zoom in with a magnifying glass, or you pinch and zoom in, and you draw like that. You know, as I pull back on the camera here, you can check out, like, you know, this is probably the size of like I don't know, like a trading card, that particular panel that I'm working on. So I don't have the benefit of, and there's a full shot of the character, the reference. I don't have the benefit of like zooming in. I can zoom in with my camera here as I'm recording myself, but like I don't really have the time, or not the, I don't have the ability to zoom in close like that. I mean, I could get an overhead magnifier lamp, but that's just too much work. I do wear reading glasses when I draw, so it helps my eyes focus a bit more. So again, you look how close up this is in the video, and you realize with the penny there, like, this is a small drawing. And I think what that also does is, another advantage is when you work digitally, sometimes what happens, I know this happened to me, is you just zoom in and you put in all this detail, but then when you go to print the thing out, there's too much going on in the drawing. And so working traditionally also keeps my artwork to where I'm not overdrawing. So anyway, that's just a little tip. Don't overdraw your panels when it's not required. And so again, good skill, I think, is to go back to traditional every now and then, because you are working really with just one size and scale. Of course, you always have to be aware of, you're drawing something at a certain size, and if it needs to be reproduced for print smaller, well, then that's a different issue. But I think working traditionally kind of keeps me to where I'm more aware of that, because when you are working digitally and you're zooming in and pinching in to try and fix a little thing, and you realize that little thing really just prints at the size of, like, I don't know, the size of a pea or even something smaller, it can mess with the final overall look and readability of the artwork. And these are comic books that we're making, or at least that I'm making, and storytelling is everything above everything else. Hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and thanks for watching.